Picture this. You're out with your friends on a Saturday night. Someone just got promoted. Someone else just broke up with their girlfriend. Someone's birthday was last week and you're celebrating late because nobody could agree on a date. Point is, you're drinking. The kind of night where every round comes with a story and somebody keeps yelling, "One more!" even though it's definitely not one more. You've had maybe 6 shots of vodka, 3 beers, and something called a liquid cocaine that the bartender promised would f*** you up. You're feeling amazing, invincible. This is the best night ever. Your friend orders another round. You think, I'm already drunk? What's one more gonna do? So you take it, then another, then one more because someone's buying and it's rude to say no. You're stumbling a little, but it's fine. Everyone's stumbling. You're all having a great time. This is what your 20s are for, right? Then the room starts spinning. Not in a fun way, in a something's wrong way. You sit down. Try to focus. Your friends are laughing about something, but you can't follow the conversation anymore. You feel nauseous, really nauseous. You stand up to go to the bathroom and your legs don't work right. You take 2 steps and you collapse. Oh, hey there. Before we talk about why your brain's about to shut down like a laptop with a dead battery, let's play a quick game. I'm gonna say some myths about alcohol and you tell me true or false. Ready? Myth 1. If you throw up, you've gotten the alcohol out of your system and you're safe. True or false? False. Once alcohol's in your bloodstream, throwing up doesn't help. It's already in there doing damage. Plus, you might choke on your own vomit and die anyway, so it's actually worse. Myth 2. Drinking coffee or taking a cold shower will sober you up. True or false? False. Coffee makes you a wide-awake, drunk person. That's it. Only time processes alcohol. Your liver breaks it down at about 1 drink per hour, and there's literally nothing you can do to speed that up. Myth 3. You can't die from alcohol poisoning if you're only drinking beer, not hard liquor. True or false? False. Alcohol is alcohol. Drink enough of anything with ethanol in it, and your brain will shut down. Beer just takes longer because you have to drink more volume, but people absolutely die from beer-only binges. All right, now let's talk about what happens when you drink so much that your brain literally forgets how to keep you alive. And quick reminder, Jimi Hendrix, Bon Scott, Amy Winehouse, John Bonham, all legendary musicians who died exactly like this. So if you're thinking this only happens to amateurs, you're wrong. It happens to everyone who drinks too much. So what is alcohol, and why does it turn your brain into a malfunctioning computer? Alcohol, specifically ethanol, is a depressant. When you drink it, about 20% gets absorbed through your stomach and the rest through your small intestine. It hits your bloodstream fast, crosses into your brain, and starts messing with your neurotransmitters. Your brain runs on a balance of excitatory signals, things that make neurons fire, and inhibitory signals, things that slow neurons down. Alcohol enhances GABA, your main inhibitory neurotransmitter, which is why you feel relaxed and less anxious when you drink. At first, this feels great. You're more social, less self-conscious, funnier in your own head. This is the fun part of drinking. But as you keep drinking, alcohol doesn't just relax you. It starts shutting down entire brain regions. Your frontal lobe, which handles decision-making and impulse control, goes offline first. That's why drunk you think's doing more shots is a brilliant idea. Then your cerebellum, the part that controls balance and coordination, starts failing. You stumble, you slur your words, you can't walk in a straight line. But here's where it gets deadly. Deep in your brain is the brainstem, which controls automatic functions like breathing, heart rate, and staying conscious. It's your body's life support system. When your blood alcohol concentration gets high enough, usually around 0.3% to 0.4%, alcohol starts shutting down your brainstem. Specifically, it shuts down your respiratory center, which is the part that tells your lungs to breathe. Your breathing slows down. Then it becomes irregular. Then it stops completely. You're not choosing to stop breathing. Your brain just forgot how to do it automatically. At the same time, you lose consciousness and your gag reflex stops working, which means if you vomit, and you probably will, you can't cough it back up. It goes into your lungs instead of out of your mouth. So you've got 2 ways to die here. Your brain stops telling you to breathe, or you choke on your own vomit. Sometimes both happen. Either way, you're not getting oxygen, and your brain dies in about 4 to 6 minutes without it. Let's walk through the timeline from Having a great time to dying on a bathroom floor. Hour 0 to 1. You're drinking and it's fun. You're loose. You're social. You're telling stories that are probably not as funny as you think they are, but everyone's laughing anyway because they're also drunk. Your blood alcohol concentration is climbing. At 0.05%, you feel relaxed. At 0.08%, you're legally drunk. At 0.12%, you're definitely impaired, but still having a good time. Your frontal lobe is starting to check out, which is why one more shot seems like a good idea even though you've already had 7 drinks in the last hour. Hour 1 to 2. You're still drinking, but you're crossing the line from drunk to dangerously drunk. Your friends might notice you're slurring more than usual or stumbling more than everyone else. Your blood alcohol concentration hits 0.20%, then 0.25%, then pushes towards 0.30%. At this level, you're in blackout territory. You might be walking and talking, but you're not forming memories anymore. Your vision's blurred, the room won't stop spinning, and your body's screaming at you to stop drinking, but your brain's too impaired to listen to those signals. You stumble hard, almost fall, and your friends are starting to get concerned. Someone asks if you're okay. You say you're fine, but you're not fine. Hour 2 to 3. You're not having fun anymore. You're sitting down because standing is impossible. Your skin's pale, you're sweating, and you feel like you might throw up or pass out or both. Your blood alcohol concentration is somewhere between 0.35% and 0.40%, which is well into life-threatening territory. For reference, 0.40% is the LD50 for alcohol, the dose that kills 50% of people who reach it. Your breathing's getting shallow and slow. Instead of 12 to 16 breaths per minute, you're doing maybe 6 or 8. Your brainstem is struggling to keep your respiratory system running. Your friends are trying to keep you awake. They're slapping your face gently, saying your name, asking if you can hear them. You can barely respond. Then you go completely limp, not asleep, unconscious. There's a difference. Asleep, you can be woken up. Unconscious, you can't. Hour 3 to 4. You're fully unconscious and your breathing is critically slow. Maybe one breath every 15 seconds. Maybe one every 30 seconds. Sometimes long pauses where you don't breathe at all. Your brainstem's respiratory center is failing. The neurons that fire automatically to make you breathe are so depressed by alcohol that they're barely functioning. Your oxygen saturation is dropping. Your lips and fingernails are turning blue. Your brain isn't getting enough oxygen. And here's where it splits into 2 equally terrible scenarios. Either you vomit while unconscious and it goes into your lungs because your gag reflex is gone, or your breathing just stops completely on its own. Scenario A, you vomit. But because you're unconscious and your gag reflex isn't working, the vomit doesn't come out of your mouth, it goes down into your trachea and into your lungs. Your lungs fill with stomach acid and partially digested food. You can't breathe. You can't cough it up. Your oxygen saturation crashes to 0 in under a minute. Your brain's been without oxygen for 4 minutes. Neurons are dying. Even if someone finds you right now and calls 911, there's a good chance the person you were is already gone. Scenario B. Your breathing just stops. No vomit, no choking. Your brainstem simply stops sending the signal that makes your diaphragm contract. You take one last shallow breath, and then nothing. Your chest doesn't move, no air going in or out. Your heart keeps beating for a few more minutes because it has its own electrical system, but without oxygen, it eventually stops too. Cardiac arrest follows respiratory arrest. You're on a bathroom floor. Your friends finally call 911, but it's been at least 15 minutes since you stopped breathing. The paramedics arrive in 8 minutes. They try to resuscitate you, but your brain's been without oxygen for over 20 minutes. Time from first drink to death, just under 4 hours. So what does this actually feel like from your perspective? For the first hour or two, it feels great. You're loose, you're funny, you're confident. Alcohol is doing exactly what you wanted it to do. Then there's a tipping point where fun drunk becomes too drunk. The room starts spinning in a way that's not fun anymore. Your stomach feels wrong. You're sweating even though you're cold. You're fighting to stay upright and fighting waves of nausea at the same time. Your brain's trying to send you warning signals. Stop drinking, you need water, you need to sit down, but those signals are getting drowned out by the alcohol. Then your consciousness starts fading in and out like a bad connection. You're aware for a moment, then nothing. Then aware again, but you don't know how much time passed. The last thing you're probably aware of is feeling really, really sick and really, really tired. Not sleepy tired, shutting down tired. And then everything goes dark. Not like closing your eyes, like someone turning off a switch. One moment you exist, the next you don't. You don't feel yourself stop breathing because you're not conscious anymore. You don't feel the vomit going into your lungs. You don't feel your brain dying from lack of oxygen. There's no pain, no panic, no moment of realization. You just fade out. Which sounds peaceful, except you're 23 years old and you died on a bathroom floor because you drank too much at a bar. Reality check. About 2,200 people die from alcohol poisoning every year in the United States. That's 6 people per day. And about 76% of them are adults aged 35 to 64, not college kids. Though plenty of college kids die this way too. The problem is that binge drinking, defined as 5 or more drinks in about 2 hours, is completely normalized. It's what you do on weekends, at parties, during celebrations, after bad breakups. Everyone's got a story about the time they drank way too much and survived, which creates this false sense of security. I've been that drunk before, and I was fine, so I'll be fine this time too. But alcohol tolerance varies based on body weight, sex, genetics, what you've eaten, how fast you're drinking, and about a dozen other factors. What didn't kill you last weekend might kill you tonight. And here's the worst part. People leave their dangerously drunk friends alone to sleep it off because they don't want to ruin the vibe or deal with hospitals or get in trouble for underage drinking. So you die alone in a bedroom or bathroom while your friends are in the next room taking shots and laughing, completely unaware that you stopped breathing 20 minutes ago. If someone's so drunk they can't stand up, can't stay awake, or their breathing looks wrong, call 911 immediately. They can't get in trouble for drinking if they're dead, and you can't get in trouble for saving their life. So there you have it. Alcohol poisoning, slow, preventable, and way more common than anyone wants to admit. The good news is you can drink without dying. Pace yourself, eat food, drink water, don't do 12 shots in 2 hours. The bad news is, if you ignore all that advice, your brain might just forget how to keep you alive. So maybe be the person who stops at 5 drinks instead of 15. Be the person who calls 911 when your friend's not responding. Be boring. Be a buzzkill. Be alive. Because the alternative is becoming one of those 6 people per day who died doing something that's completely legal and socially acceptable. Like and subscribe if you like this video. Stay safe, drink water, and if your friend's passed out and not responding, call 911. They'll either wake up embarrassed or they'll wake up alive. Both are better than not waking up at all.